Hello, my fellow small business owners, and welcome to today's session of Small Business Advisory Group. So, today I am going to present you 10 things that you should pay attention to if you want to avoid shutting down your business too soon. You see, a lot of people come to us to set up their new businesses, but every now and then we will have a company that just not making it and they want to shut it down. And when people come to me and they say, hey, we want to shut down our LLC or S Corp or whatnot, I take a step back and I try to understand, why did this business actually fail? And over the years, I have found some very, very common reasons, some reasons that just repeat themselves again and again. And that's where this idea of advisory services came about. I say, look, if I can have an advisory group where I can help small business avoid some of these silly mistakes, hopefully those businesses will turn into a success stories. So that's why you guys are all here anyways. So this is a perfect seminar on that one. So I know we only have about 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to cover as much as I can in these 30 minutes. And I'm going to make this particular session publicly available. So if you have friends, family members who are thinking about starting a small business or who already have a small business, share it with them. I think they will find it very, very insightful. You know, being a small business owner is hard. You put a lot of effort into it, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. And if you don't make it, just a sad story. I think people who don't run small businesses, they don't understand how hard it is for small business owners. So let me see if I can make it a little bit easy for you. Let me see if I can save you some time, some energy, some money, and hopefully save your business today. All right, so let's get started. Number one reason I see is that people don't understand business finance. Now, you don't have to get an MBA. You don't have to go to Ivy League school to learn about business finance, but you should have some good understanding of debits, credits, expense, revenue, cash flow, profit and loss statement, forecasting, budgeting, you know, um, credit scores and raising capital and debt management. All of that stuff is so important if you're trying to run the business. Oftentimes, when people come and start their business, they know sales, they might know marketing, they definitely know their product, but very rarely people know about business finance. So, as you will see in Advisor Group, I spend quite a bit of time on helping you develop your business finance skills. I think those are extremely important skills if you're trying to run your own business. Once you have the finances down, and you probably need the finance skill even before you start the business, right? You should be budgeting. You should be figuring out, all kind of places where you can run into trouble. Maybe you need to raise capital. Maybe you need to work with partners. Maybe you need to split equity. Maybe you need to come up with some interesting compensation plans. There are a lot of reasons why you need to understand finance. And if you don't understand those basics, you won't be able to run a successful business. Second problem I see is oftentimes people don't understand the tax and um, and legal compliance. So I see so many times people make such a silly mistake. I'll give you an example. Somebody sent me this message the other day, and they said, "Look, I'm working with this real estate company, this realtor, who have this service. They partner up with somebody, and they offer free LLCs. So is that good for me, or should I be thinking more about that?" So my 2 cents on something like that is, well, first of all, your realtor is not your tax advisor. That's number one. Number two, the person who is setting up that LLC, are they a tax firm? Are they a law firm? What are they actually doing for you? Will they give you a guarantee that that LLC will actually protect you? Would their, let's just say if they are a CPA firm or a tax firm, would their tax firm actually give you a written document that says, our errors and omissions insurance will actually cover if you made some legal mistake in this document? Probably not. See, that's shortchanging the process. You're cutting a lot of corners and you're trying to just simply get things going while at the same time you're putting all the liability on your shoulder. Why would you want to do that? Makes no sense. Problem is, most tax firms don't explain this. Most, realtors or other people that you're depending upon to get the work done, they're not talking about that. So I think this whole legal compliance issue is almost kind of magically disappears when people are thinking. They make all kind of assumptions. Well, I'm only doing business with my brother. So what? There's still consequences. Why not do it properly? Or I know this friend for many years. Great. Let's keep that friendship for many more years. You can do that by properly structuring your company. Similarly with tax, make sure you have the right kind of entity, make sure you're setting up those entities in such a way that you're maximizing the deductions as much as possible. Make sure you're not taking deductions that you should not. There's no reason for you to unnecessarily attract IRS attention towards you. If you can avoid it, that's great. So you got to look out for tax and legal compliance. And throughout our advisory, we obviously focus quite a bit on that and try to keep you out of harm's way. So my 2 cents on this subject is ensure that your business complies with all legal, tax, and regulatory requirements. Consult with experts. Don't rely on people who should not be giving you advice. Consult with experts when necessary, especially for contracts, tax, intellectual property protection. The biggest thing you want to avoid is people who are not licensed, people who are not insured, trying to give you an advice. That's where things go wrong because they should not be entering into that domain. Let's just say if I'm a realtor and I'm giving somebody a tax advice. Well, then become a tax guy. Go get yourself insurance, go get yourself certified, take some classes, take some course, and go out there and do it. If you call yourself a finance professional, then go out there and take some licenses. Don't be an insurance guy and try to teach people finances, and I can go on and on. All I'm saying is, if you're telling people that you are X, then get properly educated, get properly insured, have an errors and omission insurance on it, and tell people the truth, because only then you can provide proper advice. Now, you as a customer, if you talk to somebody who pretends to be who they are not, and they are not properly licensed or they are not properly insured, then you know not to do business with them. Because if you do business with them, their advice may or may not be relevant to you, or it might be motivated in so many other ways. So once again, all I'm trying to say is do the business with people who are telling you an honest answer, who are not pretending to be someone they are not. By doing business with those kind of people, you would do very well. There are great insurance agents, there are great realtors, there are great mortgage people, there are pretty much any kind of profession, there are great people. But at the same time, there are a lot of fakers out there as well. And that's what I want you guys to watch out for. Do business with people who are good at what they do, and they will provide you good quality advice. So safeguard your business because that's your responsibility, not that person's responsibility. So one of the things I recommend to my clients always is whenever somebody asks you to do something major where you have to do some sort of signing and it's a legal contract, or it requires some sort of long-term commitment, or there's a lot of money involved, definitely seek out a consultation. You can do with attorney, with your tax professional, or anyone else who might be involved, but seek out an independent a review of that transaction, see what they say. Oftentimes people will say, oh, this can save you taxes, but when they come to us, I'm like, not really. They don't apply to you. That's not how it works. And sometimes people actually do it themselves, and they may end up making a lot of mistakes, and then next thing we know is there are a lot of penalties and all bunch of audits going on, and all their businesses get investigated, and it becomes a nightmare. And then they obviously end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars. So please slow down and pay attention to this. Just don't kind of try to rush through it. Take a moment and just get it done properly. Third one might surprise you. Work-life balance is so important. Oftentimes I see when people shutting down their businesses, they're not shutting down because it's a bad business or they are not able to sell products or services. The issue is their work-life balance is just completely broken. They're having problems in their marriage life. They're having problems with kids, health problems, all kind of issues I see being a business consultant where people come up and it's like, oh my God, I wish I could have stopped 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So that's why I thought it's important that I bring this up, although it's not related so much to how to develop your business. But think about it, your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, your relationships, how much time are you spending in nature, what kind of food you're eating, how much stress you're taking. All of those things are extremely important. If you ignore those little things, then what will happen is eventually you will get tired. Eventually people you're doing it for, they would no longer support you and you will give up. So please Make sure you keep your family members, your friends on board with you. Stay motivated, ask for their help, go out on vacations, go have some nice dinner, enjoy your life. It's not really all about making money all the time. Keep those things uh, uh, in, on top of your priority list, I guess, instead of bottom of your priority list. So this is what happens in a typical case. When I talking to clients and I'm like, how are we doing with work-life balance? And oftentimes I see people are making sacrifices. People are making sacrifices in terms of avoiding relationships. We haven't gone out for like 6 months or a year. We haven't taken a vacation in last 3 years. Oh, I'm working 80 hours a week, and so forth. You get the picture. Not a healthy way to develop your business. I think healthy way to develop your business is by making sure that your friends are happy, your family is happy, your health is happy, your state of mind is happy. So avoid burnouts. Set up some boundaries, managing stress. Maybe you want to work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever works for you. Just set those boundaries, and beyond that, you say you're done. Go work. Spend your time with your family, your kids, your health, and focus on those areas that are often getting ignored in small businesses. A healthy work-life balance can definitely lead to a better decision making and creativity. So don't think that time you spent with them is just waste. It's not helping you develop your business. Some of the best ideas come when we are relaxed, when we don't really have stress. You'll be surprised that how that can improve your productivity. Okay. Number four. Number four, I see is that people oftentimes don't have proper business goals. And even if they have a goal, they don't have proper metrics. So set clear, achievable business goals and objectives, and make sure you're following through them every single day. Track your key performance indicators to measure your progress. For example, um, how many videos did you make? How many social posts you made? And problem with these kind of activities, by the way, it's easy to get lost in those. So stay focused. That's why having a goal is important. I'm gonna do 2 a week, 3 a week. Um, for me, the key metrics for me is always how many new people I'm talking to every day. And my goal is 3. I want to talk to 3 new people every single day. And that means 3 new conversations, two-way conversation. They're talking to me, I'm talking to them. And it's that simple. If I follow that rule, my business will naturally grow. So you should figure out, okay, what goal pushes you ahead. So this is what will happen, especially the first year. What's going to happen is you're going to discover a lot of things to do. You might figure out 8 things, 10 things, 15 things, 20 things to do. You need to figure out of those 20 things, which one thing is helping you move forward. And that becomes your goal. Focus on that. Don't get distracted with a lot of other things. Come back, regularly review and adjust your strategies based on your goals and metrics. So one of the things who are in, those of you guys who are in the group, I try to keep bringing that up every couple of months. Hey, how are we doing on our goals? How are we doing on the goals? All it is just a reminder, but it allows you to stay on top of it. Because if nobody asks you, and if you're a business, see, one of the things, and this, when 20 years ago, when I started in business, nobody would ask you that. Nobody gonna come and tomorrow morning and ask you, how are you doing on your goals? You need some people who can ask you that question. And when you answer that question, that helps you propel in your business. So don't lose sight of your goals. Now, this one might be an obvious to many of you. This is number 5 on my list for why people fail so often. And that's why I talk quite a bit about that. I mean, you would think that I'm a tax guy. I should be talking about tax all day long. And I can do that. But again, at the end of the day, to do your taxes, you got me, you got our team, you got Sanjeev. We have, we got you covered for taxes. So I mean, yes, I can talk to you about strategies, but we can take care of those for you. All I have to do is convince you to do business with us. Just hire us, and then that part of the problem is solved. But there's a whole other element of your business that needs your attention. That is not something my team can do in-house for you. What are those things? That's marketing, branding, and sales. So write this down: marketing, branding, and sales. Majority of the companies actually fail because you lack one of those 3, either marketing, branding, or sales. Sometimes I see great marketing by people, but they have no branding. Nobody knows who they stand for, what their opinions are. You know, you know, um, Why did they exist? Why are they doing what they're doing? Why did they get out of bed today? They have no clue, no idea. That's branding. People need to know that. Who are you? What do you stand for? You know, um, and then marketing is getting that message out to people. Just because you know that doesn't help a whole lot. You need to get other people to know that. And sales is to convert that branding into an actual revenue. So there's 3-step process: branding, marketing, sales. Okay. So now, once again, our advisory group doesn't focus only on that, but we do try to bring those subject matters on a regular basis. See, if you are not good at sales, you can take a course that can teach you about sales. If you're not good at branding or marketing, you can take courses on those. But you only have X number of hours in a day, and you need to learn all of that. So if you go out there and spend 40 hours a week learning how to brand yourself, and some of these courses can go on for 6 months or a year, or if you decide to go an MBA, that can take you 2 years, and that's too late for your small business. You're losing revenue every day. That's why I try to bring these subject matters to your attention on a regular basis. You don't have to be an expert, but if I can help you improve just by 1% every single time we talk, that's good enough. Your business is going to do really, really good. So, my suggestion: develop a strong brand identity and have a strong message about your company. What do you stand for? What promise are you making to your customers? See, when people come to us, my promise to them that I'm going to work harder than any other tax firm out there. I'm not just going to do your taxes. I'm going to do tax planning with you. I'm going to strategize with you. I'm going to meet with you. I want to give you financial outlook webinars where we discuss financial outlooks. We do real estate outlooks. We do business outlooks. We do all of that stuff. Why? Why do I do that? Because I want to help you more than anybody else. Let the best man win. It's really that simple. That's my strategy. Somebody wants to compete, do it. Do it yourself. Go out there, find your own content, build it, try to help your customers as much as we can, and we're happy to compete with you. We don't outsource your work. We do everything right here. I mean, majority of the firm, they don't really care about their customer. The moment you leave the room, what they're doing, they take your paperwork, send it to Bangladesh or India or Philippines. And what happens when they do that, right? Let's take a look at tax return. Tax return have your social, your kids' social. It has your financials. It's telling them what properties you own, what stocks. I mean, they have so much information, and people have no clue, passing it on to all over the world. Is that a safe strategy? Heck no. Yes, go hire somebody locally. Control that. Get them Amazon account. Spend some money. People don't want to do that. But anyhow, why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because that's a promise I make to my clients. That's the promise. That's what I'm stand for. So that's how I built our brand identity. And now what do we do? Now all I have to do is go market that all day long. I got to tell them, hey, this is what we stand for. Do you like it? Do you like doing business with somebody who stands for this? Or do you want to do business with somebody who's going to send all your financial data overseas, who are not going to spend a minute about how the financial outlook look like, how the real estate look like, how your business is going to grow, who don't care about any of that stuff? All they want to do is write a check every single year to them for filing your tax return. Is that the kind of firm you want to do business with? Very simple. There are some people who want to do that, and that's okay. They can go to those people. But people who are looking to grow their business, they're going to come to us. That's my brand identity. Okay. And like I said, all I have to do is now go market that all day long, tell the whole world about that. And if I did a good job in branding and marketing, honestly, sales happens by itself. I don't have to really go sell myself. Most people come to us ready to do business. They go like, oh my God, I just wish we would have known about you guys way sooner. I wasted 5 years, 10 years, 20 years doing this by myself. So I hope I clarify, and I didn't mean this kind of became like a commercial for tax code advisors, but I wanted to give you an actual example, something I practice myself, and you can take that example and apply that to whatever field that you're working in. So develop a strong brand identity and develop a strong message about who do you stand for. Invest in marketing strategies that reach your target audience effectively. Utilize all sorts of medium. You got social media, you got online advertisements, you got offline marketing channels. So the idea is whatever your message is, now you need to get it out to people. So a lot of people are not able to do that. So go back to what I said earlier, right? Number one, most people don't have proper branding. What do I mean by branding? Branding simply means what do you stand for, right? They don't have that. They don't have a clear statement, clear message. Another way to look at it, what are you promising to your customers? What can their customer expect from you? So let's say you think of Starbucks. What do you expect from Starbucks? You'll be surprised. I mean, I've seen people expect what? People expect Wi-Fi at Starbucks. It's not the coffee, right? It's not the coffee. Coffee is there, but that's not it. What do they expect from Starbucks? They expect Wi-Fi. They expect nice chairs, clean environment, safe environment. They expect clean bathrooms. They expect quick service. That's what they're expecting. And if you go to any Starbucks, that's what you're expecting. Now, imagine you go to a Starbucks and they cannot deliver on one of those things. You would not be happy. How many of you guys have gone to Starbucks only to use their restrooms, right? Clear message. And if that branding and marketing has been done properly, what's happening? Sales are happening automatically. Now, I can talk a whole lot about Starbucks, but maybe that's a different webinar altogether, because Starbucks also suffered big losses. If you remember, very recently, they were opening stores left and right. I think at one point they were opening up a store worldwide every 4 hours. Okay, and if you take a look at the financial statements for that year, they were losing 50% in profits. So it was a pretty terrible year for them. So anyhow, that's a different story. How fast you want to grow, how slow you want to grow, what are you missing out? And that's why knowing all the numbers, paying attention to key triggers, paying attention to markets, paying attention to finance. That's why Small Business Advisory Group, because I wish you can grow business just by knowing one thing. It's not about knowing one thing. You know that. Being a small business owner, you got to be good at a lot of things. So anyhow, marketing, branding, and sales. Let's leave it at that and move on. Okay. So those of you guys who personally know me, I advise most of my clients two things. Number one, you got to have some sort of active business that is contributing to tax strategies, that is contributing to bringing new revenue, helping you build wealth. And the second thing you should have is a whole bunch of passive activities as well. Real estate, asset business, building assets that are generating income for you. You need to think, like, for example, so I'm doing this advisory call with you guys right now. And part of this advisory call, I'm going to take that video and I'm going to post it on YouTube. What is that? That's an asset that's going to live on YouTube for a long time. People are going to be watching that YouTube video, and some people will say, you know what? I can relate to Deepak here. I think I want to do this. Not just that I want somebody good who is can offer great tax strategies and manage my taxes, but in addition to that, I like this idea of having overall knowledge of running and growing my business. And guess what? For years and years to come, I'll be making money out of this video. So I'm helping you today, but I'm also helping a lot of other people who'll be joining in future. So point I'm trying to make is you want to focus on building assets that you build one time and they're generating income for a long time. Real estate is a good example. Businesses are a good example. So please pay attention to both. So sometimes I see people get so focused on real estate that they completely ignore active income. And sometimes people are so focused on active income, they completely ignore passive. So I would suggest that take a look at the both sides of the equation. And we try to talk about that every now and then in our conference calls as well. And we address and obviously point out different opportunities that are available in the market. Okay, this one is another interesting one. And this one I think is common for all sorts of people, small business, medium people, and even large business. And when we're doing one-on-one with our clients and we're discussing, then one of the things we ask is, well, how do you price your service? And you'll be surprised that most people actually price their service way too cheap. Way too cheap. You see, your customer is looking for different options from you. They're looking for something free. They're looking for something low price, something reasonable price, and some high price items as well. So you need to offer them different products, different services. Focus on things that can save them time and provide a lot of value. So just don't stick with one price and forget about that. You need to continuously work on price. I mean, everything around you is changing. Your gas prices are changing. Your tax is changing, your rent is changing, then why is your price stable for last 5 years? Not a good strategy. So pay attention to that. I think customers understand that. So right now, the small business advisory group is $300 a month. If I change it to $500 next year, for example, why should anybody have problem with that? My rent is increasing. My cost of operating business is increasing. Why shouldn't I charge more for my services? You should not be ashamed of that. What you need to focus on is, if somebody is spending $300 with me, I want to make sure they're getting $3,000 worth of value. That's where my focus should be. If I'm charging them $500, my focus would be is make sure they're getting $5,000 value. Deliver more value. That's what the key focus is. Now, if you cannot deliver the value, that's where the pricing becomes problem. So please pay attention to that. So how can you solve that problem? Well, one of the ways is obviously you can get better at that. So whatever product or service you sell, continuously working on improving that product or service, maybe get more trained, learn more about the subject matter, become a better coach, become a more resourceful person. You can do that by delivering more value. Or the other thing a lot of people don't realize you should consider is having more than one product or service. Why do you only have to have one product or service? What else can you do? Can you partner up with other people? Shoot, you can even sell other people's services. All you have, because if you have a customer, okay, let's say you are an insurance person. You can partner up with me and you can say, hey, Deepak, what I'm going to do is I want to offer your tax services to my clients. Partner up. I will recommend insurance clients in my area to you, and you can recommend those to me. That's a partnership. Build those kind of partnerships. Very, very important. The only thing I would advise you, though, is be careful being exclusive to one person. That's where it becomes a little bit tricky. You want to give your customers an options. You're like, for example, when people come to us, we always say that we're always looking out for your best interest. Now, imagine if I only recommend one insurance brand to you. If I say, oh, do business with this company, that's not fair. That might not be reasonable. I need to be able to at least give you 2, 3 different options you can choose from. I mean, it's got to be open market. Let the people compete. Let the best person win. Let the best business win. Okay. Provide options for customers to start their journey with your business and then build upon it. So your business should not be the end of their journey. It should be start of their journey. Offer a range of product or services. Like I said, include free options, inexpensive options, core offerings, expensive options. People like choices. Give them choices. Okay, I know we are running late. We're almost 5 minutes left. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can, and maybe we'll go over by 5 minutes. So stay with me for a second, okay? Because this is important. Number 9, what I see with small businesses, small business owners in particular, is they try to do everything by themselves, okay? And I can understand that. Why they want to do everything by themselves is because lack of budget. That's the problem. Now, I see 2 problems in lack of budget. Number 1, I would see is, let's say they don't know marketing. So what they will do is they will go out there and hire somebody for $2, $3, $4,000 a month to do marketing for them. Well, why? Why do you have to do that? Why? How do you know what they're even delivering you for $2, $3, $4,000 a month? I mean, are you really even getting a value? You don't even know, right? So join a mastermind group like ours, for example, Small Business Advisory Group, or some other mastermind groups where you pay 100, $200 a month, and you run your questions by them every single month. Why do you have to spend $2,000, $3,000 on that? So what that does is, it allows you to learn marketing in a faster fashion, and bare minimum, how to negotiate with marketing people, what to look out for. I have a client. He runs a really, really large company, and he has like 50 people marketing team. He's a CEO of the company. And one day I asked him this question. I said, how do you even know what are they delivering? How are you even tracking them? Like, oh, I have a manager for that. Like, how do you know that guy is doing the right job? When was the last time you get an opinion from a third party? Pay somebody for consulting for $300, $500 an hour, and say, hey, look, review my marketing. Give me some, grade me. Tell me what am I doing wrong. Have you done that? I'm like, oh, I haven't done that in like 20 years. You're just throwing money down the road. Just, don't just, before you spend the money, please just take a minute back. I'm telling you, you're always going to get more bang for your bucks if you spend money on a professional, and instead of hiring somebody for 40 hours, you can hire a professional for 1 hour and you will get a better result. So if you go out there and talk to any successful small business owner or even a large business owner, they will vouch for this strategy. It works. But when we're small business, like especially at the starting age, we don't get that. We don't understand that. We always think we can do things cheaply. That not might always work out in your favor. Okay. Uh, Partner with individual or companies who have resources you need, such as money, contacts, employees, professionals, distribution channels. So let's say if I have a product and I'm having a hard time selling it, all I have to do is find somebody else who has a good distribution channel. Because if I can find that, I can partner up with them and let them sell my product, right? Solves my problem. So you can be small and still do big stuff. One time I had a lady, Chinese lady actually, and she was doing this product she has, like a very simple product. I mean, I don't want to give you the details, but very simple product. And just one person, she was doing $1 million in sales, selling it at Home Depot. She was selling it at Whole Foods. She was selling it at Amazon and so many different places. Just one person. Uh, how did she do that? All bunch of partnerships. Amazing person. So it's possible you as a small business owner to make $1 million. You just need to understand different pieces of the puzzle. And oftentimes you can learn that from other people as well. So don't try to recreate everything yourself. Focus on what you do best. And for the rest, get coaching, get help, talk to professionals, partner up with people. If you can afford it, hire employees. But if you can't, there are plenty of other ways to grow your business. It's not the end of the world. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. And I think most of you, especially if you're in the group already, this will resonate to all of you guys. Continuous learning and adaptation. We start a business thinking X, but X might not be the way to make money. Maybe to make the money, you need to do things in a different way. You need to continuously learn. You need to continuously keep changing things, try out new ideas, test new ways of doing your business. So if you're still doing business the way you did it 1 year ago and it's not working, it's time for a change. So the business landscape is constantly evolving. Stay updated with the industry trends, innovation, be open to adaptation, and change as necessary to remain competitive in your field. Because if you're not changing, your competition is probably changing. New players are coming in the market and they're going to try to do things in a different way. And if their ways are better, cheaper, more effective, they're going to take the market share from you. So you need to be fighting every day. That's the beauty of having a small business. You need to continuously learn every single day. Invest in personal and professional growth to enhance your skills. I mean, I think that's the biggest lesson I can give you, because to be a successful small business owner, you need a lot of skills. Like I said, finance, you need to know your sales, you need to know your marketing, your branding, networking, personal growth, all of that stuff. So please don't ignore that aspect. If you can spend at least 1 to 2 hours a day on making yourself better, you will see a tremendous result at the end of the year. So I share all kinds of problems that I see in small business owners, why they are failing. And many of you guys who have started a new business, or this is your second time or third time, I think you can easily relate to some of these that I have just mentioned. And that's what I try to focus on in Small Business Advisory Group. I try to bring knowledge to tackle these kind of issues, because if I can do a good job on making you aware of these kind of problems and provide you solutions before you run into those problems, there's a good chance that you will have a success story. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So we are only 5 minutes past our time, so we can start with our questions now. And I want all the newcomers to ask questions first, please, and then we can go to our existing members. All right, so let's get started.